Hello, Peter4790 here, Cyrus, and I'm here to present this package I got today, which is the official Fire Emblem Awakening soundtrack that got released at March 28th, I think. Anyway, was really anticipating for the soundtrack, well, the official soundtrack release, since I really love Fire Emblem Awakening soundtrack when I heard it when I was first going through the game, and I knew, well, I had to buy the soundtrack when it gets released. Anyway, let's take a look at the soundtrack. Now, let's look at the cover. Firstly, I just love the cover art of this. Lucina looks really good at this cover art. Anyway, let's open it up, and it seems that this soundtrack CD has 5 CDs in total. And if you really pay close attention to the soundtrack CD, or just pay attention to the CD himself, you can see that the color of the CD is supposed to represent how each CD is supposed to represent each jewel that goes into the Fire Emblem itself. Well, the Fire Emblem version for the mythology for Fire Emblem 1, 3, and 13. Anyway, it's a really nice touch. Now let's look at the back of the soundtrack CD, which is basically just a full portrait of Lucina wearing some sort of white dress. And I think the artwork looks really nice here. And out of all the soundtrack CD I have, Fire Emblem Awakening probably does have the best cover for me. Anyway, really nice artwork is what I'm just trying to say. Anyway, let's look at the booklet itself that came with the soundtrack. The booklet is probably just to detail what kind of songs are in each disc, but I don't know Japanese, so I can't really read it. Anyway, the artwork is basically just the children character with their parents. And you got Krong with Lucina, then you got Liz with Owain, and then you got Sully with Kajel? Sorry, not sure how to pronounce her name. And then you have Samia with Cynthia. And then on the next page you got Laurent with Mario, and Yarn with Pan. On the next page we got Brody with Maribel, and Cordelia with Severa, our local Synodary. And then you have Nao and Noe, the dragons, and Tharja and her child with Nar, who has a dual personality, which is a very fun character to watch. Then you have a really cool picture of Lucina here, probably trying to activate Ether. Anyway, on the next page is some liner notes. I don't know what it says, I don't know Japanese. And then on the second page you got Jerome with his mother Shashi. And then on the next page you got Olivia along with her son Indigo, the womanizer. And then on the next page you got Morgan, both the male and female. And then on the next page you have a few notes, which I can't read. And then on the last page you got a really cool artwork of Lucina looking at the horizon. And that's everything in the booklet, so yeah. Anyway, the last thing I'm going to talk about is actually the 5th CD, which is the middle part of the soundtrack CD, which is the soundtrack. The 5th disc is white. It's basically a data CD which contains a few goodies. The first one is, well, the Fire Emblem Awakening opening in HD, which is a really nice touch. There's 2 openings, one with the standard HD, and then the second one with sound effects in it, which is the one I showed you at the start of this video. The other thing is that it got a compilation of the sound effects in Fire Emblem Awakening. And a compilation of character voices in the game itself. I think for all the characters mostly, but it's in Japanese. So yeah.
一気に決めろ。俺がついている。死ぬなよ。大丈夫だ。俺が力になる。負けるなよ。
And the last thing that's on the data CD is a piano sheet for the Marth theme, which is really nice for people who knows how to play piano. I don't, so this piano sheet is kind of useless to me outside of aesthetics purposes, but still, aesthetically, it looks really good. If only I have the right paper to print it on, so it looks really good on display. Anyway, that's all for my unboxing of the soundtrack CD. I'm probably also going to add in a few songs at the end, which I don't think was in the music library in Fire Emblem Awakening, which you can access to after you beat the game. So enjoy!